Welcome to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy is a veteran U.S. Navy SEAL, a former protective officer for the CIA Global Response Staff, founder and CEO of the Able Shepherd Program, a husband and father of four, and a personal friend of mine. Now here's Jimmy.
Hey guys, Jimmy Graham here on behalf of Able Nation. What is Able Nation? Able Nation is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to enhancing safety in schools, churches, and civic groups, specifically protecting children. Well, what is safety? Safety is the state of being protected from harm, danger, risk, or injury, often achieved through preventative measures. So we provide financial assistance to enhance those protective measures for our nation's future, that is, our children. Prayerfully consider going to able-nation.org and making a one-time, or better yet, a recurring donation, because wars need to be funded. God bless each and every one of you. I love you guys, and please, please, please remember, together we can save lives.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Protector Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Jimmy Graham. This is BK. What's up, brother?
How are you
It's
doing?
been, you walked into a class last week. What was that class?
Concealed handgun permit.
The
renewal,
new Colorado
recertification.
pain in the butt. Yeah, so we're trying to accommodate people on that one. So, and before that, I hadn't seen you in a minute, man. You've been out of town, traveling, busy,
Well,
getting after it.
we all have other duties as assigned.
Yes.
So Mama decided painting. So first 6 weeks of the year,
Paint. Just got right
on
on, man.
2/22, I said, I'm done painting. I'm going to the desert. So went down to Phoenix, spent time with the families, helped Dad get through, a heart procedure, test, evaluation type thing. So
Awesome, man. Good for you. Good husband.
came
good-
back here
good
for
son.
your class.
What? What's up? And to do a podcast.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I don't know. I just got the, this has been, I don't know why it's been on my mind so much. So we're going to be doing a, what did we say, streaming? What are we going to call it?
I think the categories might be social media, which could include things like, let's just say YouTube as a general, or Patreon, but streaming services, Netflix,
Streaming.
Amazon Prime.
It's streaming.
Paramount.
Is it products review? I'm just something, because I was going to call it big screen review, but some of this, like
How about streaming opinions?
streaming a bit there. Yeah, there we go. We'll see if that makes it to the title, but we'll just call it streaming opinions. There we go. Movies, TV, and kind of social media is just so much now that it could mean a lot of stuff. It could mean a podcast. It could mean whatever. But we'll just touch on these. And the thing that spurred this initially was the Madison, and you've seen it, right?
I have.
So the Madison, if you guys aren't familiar with this, we're gonna have to jump into the Taylor Sheridan universe, because I've got my opinions on this, and I think they differ than a lot of people, because I talk to people, and then they give me an answer, and we start talking, then they change their answer. So I wanna just crack into that, because I think a lot of people are heading down a road without knowing they're heading down the road, and very enjoyable. But I don't know. I want to get into it. So first of all, Taylor Sheridan. Kind of what say you? His movies, his shows, his acting, all that.
I think where I come from is it's entertainment,
Yep.
it's fictional,
Yep.
and when I walk away from it, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to model my life. I'm not going to model my behavior. I love horses. I'm not going to be out there on a quarter horse cutting, hoo-ha, hoo-ha.
So I think about it a lot, and I'm not sure why. Not like it influences me. I think I'm secure enough in the man that I am. It's funny when we talk about egos. I tell people when they start bowing up, I say, I validated my man card a long time ago, so now I can just relax. So I don't dwell on it like, what kind of man do I want to be? I think about it and say, what just happened? Like, am I better or worse? And I've said many times, I find myself saying that again about the Madison, but pretty much everything he's ever written, I think, is there's nuggets of gold and piles of crap. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean by that? Like, what's good is really, really good. It's like really like this golden thing about, a father, son, mother, daughter, some kind of thing about grieving, something about, it's so good you're like getting emotional, but it's just piled in layers of fake dude. It's like fake tough guy.
And I think you hit the nail on the head for me, is it touches emotions.
Right.
And it's important to realize that emotions and rational thought are completely different.
But some people don't know that. right?
Yeah.
I remember people during Yellowstone, and it was a single young lady that I know that just used to work with and all this stuff, and I just happened to be friends with her on Facebook or something like that. Maybe it wasn't Facebook, but it was this show's so good. Men should watch this so they know what real men are. And I'm like, one, do you know what a real man is? And two, which one? Like, tell me which guy. Like, who's the good guy? Well, obviously the dad. I'm like, okay, the murdering rancher guy that like he's got this huge dinner table and it's empty because his kids can't stand him. Okay, now, or Rip, like the muscle murderer guy, or it's I think it's Kelly is her name.
His
The
Rip's
daughter,
wife.
yeah, Rip's wife. Kind of a floozy. And she's like this boss babe, like just
Acting out.
right.
Yeah.
Acting out would be gentle. I would say absolutely caustic feminist trash.
Yeah.
God don't make trash. Let me try that again. If he did, she'd be pretty close. So just leave it at that. And that's somehow heroic. Like if you've ever dated crazy, you know what I'm talking about. Like you don't want to marry crazy, man. You don't do that, right? So it's like everybody's like, oh, but she's hot. And I'm like, right. If you're going for hot for a minute and then she stabs you, give it a shot, man. Like, right. So I want to crack into this because in my opinion, he is an epic storyteller, but it's always the wrong story. It's always the wrong story.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment, but is it? Like the entertainment nowadays, I think people are so unsure of who they are. Any wind will blow them. The Bible calls it double-minded. And if you're double-minded, then you shouldn't expect anything if you're not asking expectantly. But I think people are pretty fragile. So any wind will blow them. And now they think that this is a manly thing. And it's not. Like it's a tough guy thing. And that's in the book that I wrote, Return of Man, the very first chapter talks about, it's called Print the Legend. So it means, do you want the truth or the legend? Like, do you want the truth about the SEAL teams or do you want the legend? His movies are about the legend, right? It ain't the truth, but who's got time for the truth? So he's laughing his way all the way to the bank. And these stories, it's like the sexy part, but without the good stuff. Like there's like it's the cool things. And let's just go through them real quick. Sicario, what'd you think? These are first movies, by the way. So Sicario, what'd you think of that?
I really enjoyed it.
I loved it. It was so good.
Did you see how Del Toro walking through the border crossing?
Yeah. And that's my love-hate relationship with this is because he is an entertainer. And when I look at these movies, I don't know. I would love to find out who are the consultants.
They're very good.
Right? Because I lived that, obviously, the Spec Ops kind of meets the CIA, kind of like this. So it's SEAL, but then it's into stuff. I did spend some time in South America. Nothing like that. I never gotten a shootout in the line coming back across the border. No, that's not. But it was like, I know that world, and they're so close, and I don't understand the feminist. Like there's a thing, I was reading this book about a male feminist. There's always a tug towards some kind of chick, right? And it's like, I shouldn't say chick, because like women are going to be mad at me. But there's always that thing. It's like, and I know people that are in federal service that are females that are amazing, right? But every one of them, I think it's because it sells. It's kind of the fancy. It's the popular thing. Would be the Spec Ops. What did Skip call it? Wave Jitsu. Have you ever heard of that Wave Jitsu? Where like the 100-pound beautiful model is beating up truckers, and you're like, this is going to get people hurt. Like if you really believe that's you're going to get beat up at best. Hopefully not raped and murdered, right? But it's like if you really believe that's a thing, it's like you're in for a rude awakening, and I don't think it's fair, right? But some of those scenes when they're the clandestine stuff, obviously the cartel stuff, it's edgy, it's cool, it's sexy, and all that kind of stuff. I enjoyed it. That's pretty cool.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it is not the truth.
Oh yeah, no, it's the truth.
So yeah, I don't think some people see that.
Right.
Because on one hand, reality has been missing for decades. So now you see a glimmer of like John Wayne. Here's what a man should be.
Yeah.
That looks really cool. We should try that.
Yeah.
Well, you should have been trying it for the last 40 years. But
and that's where I think that's the part that I think is missing in any of this stuff. And I'm trying to put my finger on it. So this is helping me when I talk about it. It helps me process it and think and all this stuff. Is do you leave better? Like I feel like John Wayne when I watch some of these movies, including The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, where that's where that quote comes from. When you say at the very end, here's a man who shot Liberty Valance. The end of it, that scene I tried to capture in a nutshell, is that you just learned because the next candidate for vice president of the United States, he's sitting. Jimmy Stewart tells a story of why is he in Shinbone, well, I think it's Texas, he's sitting there telling a story in this dusty all the time. They're like, what is this guy doing here? He's like one of the most important dudes in the nation. Why is he here? And he's here to come clean that I built a whole career being this hero, the man who shot the hero you're burying, as a farmer that died out here. This is the guy that did the thing that saved the town, that saved my life, that saved everybody, and that was my launch pad. And he's right there in the cheapest, wooden box you could get. And he even lost the love interest. She's my wife now. Like, I am this man, but that's the man.
The man.
You're like, oh my goodness. And when this all comes out, this could be the biggest story in the nation, but the reporter grabs it and he just he crumples it up, the newspaper man, and he throws it in the fire. And he goes, you're not going to use the story. I just came clean, told you this entire story. And he goes, sir, this is the West. When the truth becomes legend, print the legend. Ooh. Like, the legend's way better of a story.
Yeah.
So we don't want the truth, and that's a dangerous statement. And when I saw that again as a grown man, I'm like, that's it. That's it right there. You want to talk about the legend, but you don't want to talk about the truth. Meaning, if all we're doing in this legend, like I say about the SEAL teams, you want to know the truth? My buddies aren't healthy, they're blowing their heads off. So how are we going to deal with that if we keep riding out this false legend because it's sexy, because we like it, because it sells movies, right? So not that every movie needs to be that, but why aren't you better? So I think we talked about this, and I didn't see it in here. Can you look up real quick if, I think, wasn't Bass Reeves? Why did I think that was Taylor Sheridan?
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Is he a fisherman?
It's so funny because I was like, let me see if that comes up. But that's a real person, and he was the first black U.S. Marshal.
Okay.
So fantastic show. I thought he wrote it, but I don't know. If we can't find it, We'll see if the internet X-ray it for me. Anyways, that's what I was saying, is like believing that was his writing and directing. I'm like, that might be the only good guy that I can really think of in his shows. Like a good man that's trying to do right by his family and his country and go out on a limb, and there's bribes, there's this, there's that. He doesn't take them. He's not murdering dudes. It's self-defense. He's serving justice. He's doing all that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be the crux of kind of our conversation. Hell or High Water. Did you see that one?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's also.
I really enjoy all of his shows. There's a dynamic. There's a rip. There's it's tugging at your emotional strings, which I think some men might enjoy that. They might not be expressed, they might not be able to touch those emotions, and yet it brings them out.
Yeah.
Makes it easy to identify. Like, yeah, that.
Yeah, it's a feelings-based thing, right? So there's all these feelings that obviously appeal to women. So I think a lot of women are going to be locked in on at least the TV shows, as if, and we'll get to the Madison because I got plenty to say about that one.
But the Hell or High Water, there's three main characters, and you're kind of rooting for them all.
Yeah, bank robbers, right?
Two of them are brothers.
And you're like,
one brother is trying to help the derelict, but you want to root for the sheriff, and
right, and that's the dude, right? What's his name?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges is awesome. He's awesome in everything except for True Grit. I thought True Grit. I don't know. I think maybe because it was stepping on John Wayne's toes kind of thing. I'm like, man, call it something else. But he was like, I don't know. I enjoyed it as a different movie, but it just didn't do it for me. I watched it. I think I saw it before I saw it at that church thing. Anyways, but yeah, fantastic actor, and I loved him in that. Wind River.
It sounds familiar. Jeremy Rennick.
Man.
4570
yeah.
lever action.
Yeah, fantastic.
People
man, some of his stuff's so gritty, and I love gritty movies, and I just can't wait for him to get old, be a grandpa, and then make an epic one where you're like that. Because this real world thing, and there's some talk in the film circles. I can't talk too much about it because they ask me not to, but there's some things coming up about some gritty films that are Christian based, that are, when I say gritty, I mean real. Mm-hmm. Like what are the real things? We're going to talk about this. We're going to have somebody go through it where they're really not perfect, obviously, maybe not even good, but heading towards good, with a clear path where you're like, hey, I enjoyed that. I'm actually a better man having watched it. Right, so that's coming. It's not Taylor Sheridan, by the way, but it would be amazing to pull that off and to be a part of it, right? Whether I'm training dudes to look the part or in it or whatever, because there's another documentary that's coming out that's along those lines. But I think Wind River was emotional. Like, when you're like soul hurts when you see the young lady in the fight in her, and then Renner steps in, and he's kind of that hard dude that's a working man, out there, and he's like, all right, let's go make this right, and 4570's stinking sweet anyways, man, like a big cowboy slug coming out of that lever gun. And I love, who doesn't love the modern day kind of job of law enforcement or justice, if you just leave it at that, even if it's not law enforcement, with modern day toys, right? Even lever action.
There seems to be an underlying thread of there's a strong male character, typically doesn't use a lot of words, uses a lot of violence, and is bending the rules. Like, why do we have to bend the rules? Why does that appeal to people?
Yeah. And I mean, it is. It's like it, and I guess it depends on the rules too, right? So sometimes it's like stepping over that line. Like it does do something. When I was watching, dang it, I was watching something. Oh, it was that U.S. Marshals. We'll get to that. And now it's like, wait a minute, you're a freaking criminal. Like what you just did is actually you shouldn't have a badge, and is the reason why good cops can't do their job correctly is because you just did that, because you're the other guy. Right? And it's like, well, justice must be served. Well, what's justice? You know, it's like, it's that cutting that corner. It's the old Chuck Norris, God rest his soul. He was always the guy when he's like steadfast. He's like, the whole department's against him and they hate his guts. And then you find out at the end, he was right, you know? Like, that's just good to like, be like that dude and kick dudes in the face, whatever. I was really big into martial arts back in the day. But Wind River, even the contractor, like the greasy contractors that you know, in that scene, raping the girl and doing that stuff, it's like I've lived the dirty side of that. Meaning I've been there and I've seen it, so it resonated with me. I'm like, yeah. When I did that one trip with Blackwater, it really kind of ripped my soul out. I drove the streets, no kidding, in these Honda Pilot looking whatever. They bought a bunch of them. They were trying to make them armored. It was the stupidest thing ever. But I had access to them, and I had a George Strait CD, maybe a couple. Before his 40 greatest hits, I had probably 50. And I would just drive the streets of Kuwait.
To learn them.
To clear my head and not kill somebody. Like the ethics. Because
of what you had seen.
The ethics of the SEAL teams. I took for granted the SEAL team community, the brotherhood, and then I'm with a bunch of people that don't have any kind of camaraderie. They don't have, not all of them, by the way, because there were some that were just great guys. They're like friends still. But what I saw wholesale was people chasing that thing, trying to be the legend without any credentials, without any character, without any credibility. I just want to show up and shoot people. And it was disgusting, and I couldn't get out of there quick enough. I signed up for 2 months. I did 2 months. My friends know it was the longest 2 months of my life. That wasn't sounding good. They're like, are you okay? I'm like, I just got to finish this thing. They asked me to stay. They asked me to go to leadership. I'm like, I am gone. So I went to Montana for 5 weeks in the mountains, and I needed it. It was the best adult decision I ever made in my life. Was I need to leave and go into the mountains with my dog and just go. Like, I just need to go just be me and sit down next to a tree and read all of Lonesome Dove. Like throughout weeks, I'm just thumbing through. I went to a used bookstore kind of thing and got Lonesome Dove and just read through it, and that's where I fell in love with that.
Is that where the Trident boom got put on the bar?
That is exactly right. So in 2004, if you don't know this, in the Lumberjack, out in the middle, like outside of Missoula, Montana, there's a Trident, a black Trident. They don't even have them anymore. I don't think they make them. I don't know if they make them or not. But they used to be on camouflage fatigues. Was the black metal Trident. Yeah. So I had one in my truck for whatever reason in the glove box, and that was my headquarters. And I would come in there because they had cabins out there in the back that you could rent. And it basically was just a shower and a bed, bathroom and a bed, not much else. And I would go out in the mountains and do my thing. And I don't know, once a week I'd come in, get a shower and a steak and a beer. They'd let my dog right there on the bar on the floor, just hang out. And I'd hang out for like a day, and then I'd go back out, and I'd come back. And it was something about, like, I'd do like 2 nights in a row, and the second night, if they didn't have to make the bed, they didn't charge you as much. Yeah. I was like, this is perfect, right? Super
what was
cool.
His name? Was it Duke? The dog?
Duke, yeah, man. Duke was just my boy.
Chocolate Lab?
The Black Lab. Ooh, I'm a big fan of Black Labs, man. My dog now, Honey, that's like the kid's name, Honey Graham, get it? So Honey Bear Graham is the lab, the mini, not the micro, but the mini. She doesn't weigh much. A little bitty dog, but she's my girl, man. So I'd spoil her rotten. But I've been a Black Lab fan for dogs. Did you grow up with dogs?
Love dogs, yeah. My 2 favorite, Butchie and Bogey. Butch was a 140-pound yellow lab, and you could count his ribs. He was a beast. And his little brother Bogey was a Newfoundland, black and dumb. It just okay. And those two, we had a blast.
I'm from Missouri. And around the Ozark area, there's a cave and a park called Tonka National Park, Native American roots, all this stuff. And this dog comes out, somebody left it. So we were out there for a few days, and we saw it the first day we played, and it followed us. And so we ended up naming her Lady. Came back the next day, still there. We were begging our parents, could we swing by there? If she's still there, somebody abandoned her. So they said, okay. So we went and picked her up. A lab, smaller side lab, female lab, probably shepherd mix, somewhere in there like mine, was pregnant. We didn't know that. So we bring her home and she has this whole litter and all that stuff. But we go back and I lived in a rough neighborhood. Like it was like, I'm literally like white supremacist, like the Ku Klux Klan was literally at the courthouse giving away candy on a full dress, giving away pamphlets to join. And also being half Asian, like half Japanese, we really had to watch and beat whatever. But I mean, everybody had these nasty junkyard dogs and I got bit, like I don't know, a lot, like Doberman pinchers and all that stuff. And I remember brought that dog home, was playing with it, went walking, I see this dog lighting out after me, so I just take off, man. I'm like, oh, here we go again. And big dog, lady was not a big dog, and she ripped into that thing like a wild animal. Okay, Sicario 2. Did you see that one?
I did.
Having trouble remembering that one. They kind of blend together. Oh no, I do remember that one. I really enjoyed that one too. What's the guy's name? I just watched the Into the Blue. Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, yeah. What was the storyline on 2? I can't remember it right now. Number 1, they went down south of the border. Number 2, they...
Same thing and more of it, and they blend together in my mind right now because it's been a minute. I just
is this the one there? No, I'm screwing it up with Act of Valor, where they're coming through tunnels and...
Is it Emily Blunt? Is that who that is?
Yep.
Fantastic actress. Fantastic. Awesome. I don't know that I've seen her in anything, but it's so funny since we're talking about social media and all that. Look up, there's a little clip, it's like seconds, when she's talking about, who's she married to? Is she married to Jim?
The guy from 13 Hours.
Yeah. What's his name? Jim. My kids call him Jim.
Krasinski?
Yeah, John Krasinski. She's talking about teaching her the accent. Have you heard this? No. I don't know why it was so charming, but I was just like, man, she's amazing. And she was talking about, and it's something beautiful about a British accent and a woman. And I know chicks dig the accent in a man. There's a lady named, is it Bev on Daily Wire? That she's just pleasant to listen to. She's talking about the UK and all that stuff, and she's over there right now. She's usually in DC. But I'll sit there and I'll listen to every word because she just seems so elegant and just pleasant, right? Anyways, she's talking about her kids where they were like, she says, what a, and she said one of her, did they get your accent or did they get his accent, John's accent, all that stuff? And she was like, typically mine, but it kind of heartbreaking. We're like, can I get some water? Water. And the way she says it, and it goes right back, it's honey, it's water. Anyways, check it out because it's cool.
My mother-in-law is from London. It's the best thing in the world to be in trouble by a British woman.
There's just something classy and elegant and cool. Obviously, you see people that lose their mind and they're trashy too, but when you see them clinging to that. But yeah, she was in The English. I don't know if you saw that. She's recently been in the, what's the one about the monsters that hear the sound and all that stuff? Is it Silence or Quiet or Quiet Place? Quiet Place.
The one I remember or watched most recently, it was a cowboy movie. Almost like science fiction cowboy, where she's out Taylor Sheridan style. There's a lot of violence. And she's tearing up town.
Huh.
Yeah.
What is that, I wonder? Anyways.
Well, if you talk, I'll find it.
Yeah, if you think about it. Because now I got to check it out. Well, and I believe she was in the one with Tom Cruise where they keep dying and trying to figure the thing out. I don't know. I keep popping it. I have my notes on these, but on the ones that popped in my head, I don't remember. Did you see Those Who Wish Me Dead, Angelina Jolie?
I did not. That's one I don't resonate with her. Angelina. I don't know why.
Yeah. That's
Now, why in the heck I would like Billy Bob and Landman? I don't know.
I think that dude is an amazing actor.
He really is.
Everything he's in,
really
the dude's amazing. And yeah, that was weird, the whole Billy Bob thing with Angelina. But yeah, she's, gorgeous, sexy, whatever. The reason I say sexy because it's something inappropriate because I'm a married man. But I remember my buddy talking about this. Yeah, attractive. My buddy saying this about her in particular, and he was like, "Sexy beats pretty all day, like any given day." And that's what he was talking about her. So that's his opinion. But I think that beautiful beats both. But anyways, I don't know. I like Wanted. Did you see that one where they're curving the bullet, which is the stupidest thing ever?
No.
But it was entertainment, right? And she's been in some things that I've enjoyed.
I
this
probably saw
one,
her in Tomb Raider.
this
that's
one was,
where we're going back.
so Those Who Wish Me Dead was basically think of Yellowstone or Lioness or Landman, but you're firefighters. And then there's some kind of murder thing going on, but it was just, it missed bad. And back to, there's a theme with Taylor Sheridan where he's got these tough women that aren't anything beautiful. I'm talking about women. I say, you can be a beautiful woman or you can be an ugly man. Pick, right? She's trying to be an ugly man, meaning tough guy, daddy didn't love me, so I'm gonna try to be tough. And it's just not appealing, like at all. It's like, ugh. So I think that missed quite a bit. Some of the firefighters, you would notice they were cowboys in Yellowstone, right? Yeah, I think it's a big miss. Tom Clancy Without Remorse. I think that's the one with Creed. Is that right?
I don't know. I read all of Clancy's books and back
Michael
in
B.
the
Jordan
day-
or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but his writing style back in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, it made sense because it was so thorough and so complete. When books become movies, it's pretty rare that they,
Oh, you talking about Clancy?
yeah.
I told you I met Clancy?
Yeah?
Yeah.
No. You didn't meet him. Didn't you, like, sit in the owner's booth?
Yeah, so he was owner of, what is it?
Baltimore?
Baltimore Orioles? No,
Baseball or football?
baseball.
Yeah, Orioles.
So first time I'd seen, I said first time like I do it a lot. The only time I've watched a baseball game in Baltimore, like from the owner's box, right? So we get invited up there, SEAL connection, all this other stuff, brings us in, and yeah, chicken wings, beer, all that with Tom Clancy. So you're hanging out there. He's got his big old binoculars, Coke bottle glasses. And we got to talk about that a little bit. And what you just said, making books movies. He had, like, obviously he's getting paid, but he hated the movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, in his words, like pimping out his stuff. He used a different word I won't use, but he was like, every one of his books, he thinks they destroyed it.
You sign over your rights.
Right.
And they take creative liberty. Oh, we need to make it fit in an hour and a
Yeah.
half. Well, it's an 8-hour story.
Yeah, I've got a picture somewhere. I posted it when he died, kind of like honoring him and all that stuff. But I really enjoy his stuff. Even the movies I enjoyed, but the books are always better. So Without Remorse, I believe that was a Navy SEAL, black dude, Navy SEAL, killed his family, and then he just gets after it and starts dishing the business. I enjoyed it. Like, I watched it and was like, next, probably won't ever watch it again. Like some of these that we'll get to on the TV shows, because I think TV shows are getting better than movies because of the character development, because it's a longer relationship. And then when you're done with it, you're like, now what do I do? You know what I mean? Because like you're part of it, and that's the allure. But Without Remorse, it didn't really do much for me. Finest Kind. Did you see that one?
Nope.
Saw it. It was all right. Can't remember anything about it. I want to say it was about fishing, maybe. I don't even remember. Was it fishing? Maybe I'm thinking of another movie. Anyways, just eh. Okay, now the TV shows, Yellowstone. We touched on it, but what'd you think?
Same thing.
And I'll say Yellowstone, 1883 and 1923. Did you have a favorite? Are you digging it? Are
I
you
didn't
tracking?
do the years.
You didn't do those?
No, I didn't.
Come on, bro. Okay, well, back to Yellowstone. What'd you think?
It was entertainment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There was some tough guy bravado, but then you realize it's like, that's not real. I can't buy that. I mean,
It was the same.
Cute.
So it's the same formula. Okay, produced by Taylor Sheridan. So I was right. So Bass Reeves, because I'm gonna alter my answer here. So Bass Reeves and then Tim McGraw.
Mm-hmm.
So his role, I think you would really enjoy. I would highly recommend 1883. Okay. I think it's the best one.
Yeah.
It's the best one of all of them. So you got.
and he's with his wife in that one.
Yes, with Faith Hill, which is, by the way, we're coming up on a party here in May that's going to be very patriotic on the weekend that our president dedicates America as one nation under God, May 17th. So on May 16th, we're doing a thing. And I was thinking about this today. We have to play the national anthem, and the best national anthem in a Super Bowl ever was Faith Hill, right? So I'm going to be playing that. And I think the only way I can get it is through YouTube, so I'll just put it on my phone. Yeah. But I love it. She just nails it. So 1883 is the furthest one back, where you've got the first Dutton that's coming across. That comes to America. I'm sorry, is that right?
I think
I'm
they're
right.
coming up from Texas or something.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So it's they're already here, but that family it is super gritty. And there's a scene with the her name escapes me, but it's the young lady who's narrating it, which just makes it different and makes it kind of cool and
Isn't
special.
that the girl in Landman?
Oh man, not
daughter?
Landman, not Landman. No, she is in. I can't remember.
Okay.
But she's fantastic, and some of the things, it'll sound inappropriate because she reminds me of my daughter, but the stuff she doesn't remind me of my daughter. But there's this fight in this young lady, and here's this, this thing again. And the dad protecting her in just a horrible, harsh conditions. One guy tries to attack a drunk guy and all that stuff, and he just handles it, right? Mm-hmm. So that kind of stuff plays on that protector role in a father. Like, the wife's like, what are we doing? Like, and he's like, I'm called this way. And the wife supports him. So there's so much goodness. But again, there's all these layers of all this other crap in here. But that one, the least, I think. Bass Reeves in 1883, I think, steal the show as far as I'm a better man having watched him. You know what I mean? Now, kind of better having watched all of them because I dissect them on, this is the garbage that I look for this. I look for, having lived that life in some of the special operations things, I know where the red flags are, and he celebrates them. Yeah. I don't, right? It's a death sentence to a nation, it's a death sentence to a man. And I've seen men, unfortunately, blow their heads off riding out this game, and I don't like it, right? Yeah. The entertainment part of it, sure. But as far as like 1923, the gratuitous, not only the, like you said, the nude scenes, when you're talking about your police academy or something, why is there like a breast running across the thing? When you're 14, you're like, woohoo! As I'm like, I don't get it. 1923, it's more of like women, like whipping women because this guy's a pervert and all this stuff. You're like,
yeah,
huh, right? So I don't know. So I didn't enjoy 1923 except for, it's funny, there's a guy in there.
Is that the one with Harrison Ford then?
It is. But there's a nephew that's coming to kind of wreck shop and save the day. He kind of reminds me of Alex, actually. I don't know if it's just an appeal.
Because he was in the Army or something, fighting in World War II.
Yeah, and he's trying to get across the ocean to come back and get them back to Montana, and it's just grueling. So for him to get there, it's a super, that part of it you're dying for, they really milk it out because that's the only thing I really cared to see. Yeah. I'm like, man, just get the guy there already. Get rid of all this other garbage and get him there so he can make things right.
Well, I'm picking up on something like a thread in Taylor Sheridan is tension. There's always tension between groups, between characters, sure. And that's the whole drama. Yeah. Writing the storyline to draw you in. Yeah, I sound like I'm sitting there hammering him. I'm so excited for the day when he figures this out, and I'll cap this off at the end with somebody who's figured it out, because he is I can't wait to see his stuff, and then it either delivers or it doesn't. But it's all the same. I think it's all the same story. Like what would you call Yellowstone if it was in prison? Well, you'd call it Orange is the New Black.
Mayor of Kingstown, right? Yeah, which is the next one. Did you watch that?
Started to. Somebody lost their head near a safe, and I was like, oh, okay, that was too far.
Oh, the brother. Yeah. That was the mayor. So younger brother becomes the mayor. Man, I thought I enjoyed it, and this is where all my Christian friends are going to be like, guard your heart and all this other stuff. But I know some of this stuff is rough, and I say, yes, there's guard your heart. There's also keep your heart strong enough so you can look at evil. I say, if you believe, and I just said this at Vail when I was speaking, if you don't face evil, who will? Like if you believe in Medusa and you face evil, you'll turn to stone. If you believe in Jesus, you face evil and you might just draw your sword, right? So knowing what we're up against, yes, there is this kind of part of you that's drawn to this malevolence or this looking at what's out there, because if you don't know that, it's almost like learning jiu-jitsu, so you're not as vulnerable to an arm bar if you know to not straighten your arm. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this is out there and it's very real and you need to know about it. Because if you don't, you're naive, and the first time you see it, it'll take you off the board, right? So that's one of those things. I mean, it's not an excuse, but maybe it's an excuse where these aren't Christian shows, I would say. Some of it, and I live in a very affluent county, Douglas County, so do you, by the way. We don't see this, but I know it's out there because I didn't always live in Douglas County. Right? I live in Kansas City. I lived in other places. I've been all over the world. I've seen dirt, poor, dead pig in the yard, little kids might eat today kind of thing. Yeah. And then I've seen Douglas County, right? So I appreciate it. And there's a balance of how much of this do I show my kids so they're not naive. And that's a weird thing right now. Like taking them to Spain wasn't like Africa. It was Spain, but I wanted them to show a different culture. Not the worst, but they are. They're a tad naive. Lioness. Did you see it?
Yeah. A couple times.
Yeah. I think that in a lot of these, there is these, the wave jitsu, the bad A females, and I think that's destructive. I just do, right? So I know women that are chasing that. They're trying to be that. Cool. Do whatever you want. I pray to God my daughters don't do that. Right? I pray to God that they are strong women. They're beautiful women, not ugly men.
Yeah.
So we'll see with that. I will talk about, so he's also an actor. So Taylor Sheridan, since we're talking about his universe. What do you think of him as an actor?
It frustrates me when I see him on the screen because I see ego. He's feeding himself, and I'm like, is this part of the story? So that's just me.
Yeah. I would say you nailed it, except for one role. One role, I don't even know if he knows how good that was, but I've lived the contractor world, I've lived the SEAL team world, I lived the CIA, like all of that stuff. And when he did The Old Soldier, I think the episode might have been called The Old Soldier, but I can't recall, and I'm not gonna look it up. But in Lioness, it's pretty much these power women and all the people who they're in charge of. But he does this so well, it's hard to imagine him not being that. So I don't know who the consultants were, but that dude I've met 50 times. I've met 50 of those dudes that are probably a little old for the game, and you're glad they're there. Yeah. You're like, man, I don't know how your body's holding up, but your expertise, your wisdom, and I trust you. Like you're credible. Like you have character, which built credibility, and I just hope you come with me. Like when we go on moves, I hope you're with me, right?
And there's a calm under fire, calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Been there, done it, seen it. This is no surprise.
Yeah. I'm not going to play the political game.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to play the race to the bottom, because you see in the contract world there's tiers, right? So it takes a while to get to here. Well, depends how you come in, and depends on your credibility, your character. You can get up there rather quickly if you come from a lineage like the SEAL teams, but then you deliver, then you're in a fast track, right? So I had some offers that were very, very fast. There's no way that I would have been able to work to there if I had started at zero. But you're that only gets you so far. And that's the GRS world that taught me it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. So you can come in as a SEAL, and we're gonna give you a chance, and if you fail, there's the door. Yeah. And I really dug it, by the way, because I have no problem showing up and producing. And I've never really had my credibility challenged ever, thank God. And that came from appreciating not only where I was from, but where I was at, and saying, I'm gonna prove this every day. Yeah. Right? So, and not saying I'm perfect, not saying I was better than anybody else. Well, I was better than some, not better than everybody, but at least it was genuine, and that gains respect long term. Yeah. So there's short-term dudes and there's long-term dudes, and thankfully I cherish my long-term guys. But I will give him props for that. Some of the weird roles, I didn't mind him as the cop in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, what? You haven't seen that? Yeah, so that's another, I don't think you wrote that, I'm not sure, but that's another one where just put that same recipe of broken dudes looking for a home on motorcycles, right? And I know a lot about the motorcycle world, and that's actually quite pathetic. But okay, cool, man. If you want to find that, and who's a good guy? You're selling like rocket launchers and machine guns so you can kill cops. Okay, whatever. And Landman, it was Landman, because I know that we've talked about this a bit. Thoughts?
Coming from a guy that drives a big old Ford pickup truck, of course I like Billy Bob.
Man, okay, pause there for a second, because I even appreciate the stance of those work trucks, because they look like yours. Mm-hmm. They're not the ultra fat, like I can't stand the fat tires that are small on a rig that's built to work. Yeah. And it's got that healthy, like I'm showing up to do some work and play. And I'm looking at the trucks, and I'm like, does everybody look at the trucks like I do? But yes, evidently.
So and I think there's very few times I have laughed out loud so emphatically. I might not be able to catch my breath, because some of his Billy Bob's tirades or rants or just, I don't know. Unfortunately, his wife might qualify as a broken woman as well.
Oh my goodness.
But there's just a whole lot of crazy in that space. And,
yeah. And that's that part where it's like, of course, it's entertainment, but back to they're trying to like glorify these train wrecks of women. Like they're just going to be just a burden on society and this dude, right? And not like he's the best dude or whatever, but I dabbled a little bit, not in oil and gas, but in railroad, right? So the hard hat, waiting for coffee, doing the thing, sitting in a truck for hours and hours, working heavy equipment, all that kind of stuff, long enough to appreciate that I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe a year. and this was after SEAL teams. This was after CIA. This was cutting this business, right? And you do whatever you can to keep training folks, and that was, so I resonate with that, and I see the pecking order and all that kind of stuff. I think I've told you that. I've jumped up and got nose to nose with people for mouthing off when I'm the brand new guy, and I'm like, I'm about to lose a job because I'm a precious dude. And
I like how seemingly it's real. He's not the CEO in the nice fancy suit.
Yeah.
Drinking bottles of fancy wine. He's dirty and gritty.
Yep.
Right.
Which brings us to U.S. Marshals. Okay, disclaimer. As I understand, he didn't write that. He didn't produce it.
I
It's
think
kind of
somebody
like
bought the rights.
it's
use his
so it's a
character of Casey.
spinoff, right?
Yeah.
It's a spinoff of Yellowstone.
It's one character, maybe two. Casey's son.
So Casey, I know that the chief, there's Mo brings plenty, which I think is like one of the best characters. He's awesome. But then there's also the chief dude. I don't know his name. The chairman, who's also does a phenomenal role in Wind River. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a hard role, and it's awesome. So, anyways.
Now that is something worth mentioning, that it may sound like we're picking on Taylor, but when he finds an actor and a resource, it stays with him.
Yeah, Malcolm
so there's some
Falsworth.
loyalty there.
Yeah. Like the dude that's like the rapist dude in Wind River that's also the guy in Yellowstone that does the thing and kills the dude and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if he's a brother-in-law. I know that dude's like, he plays every role, every which direction, and I kind of dig him.
Or there's the guy in Lion Man and Lioness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
and it works cool. You can bring those guys in, and they're getting well-rounded. U.S. Marshals is so hard to watch. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to watch. I do watch it. If there's a new, and this is how I know. I remember when I was a kid in probably like the late 80s, early 90s, and I could not wait to get home on the night when Miami Vice had the new one. I'm like, Mom, drive faster, like go. Like I want to see the highlight. I want to see the chick bouncing. I want to see if I'm not there when it starts, like the rest of the week, I'm just gonna throw a fit. I'm gonna lose my mind, right? Probably shouldn't even be watching that. But anyways, it's like going in there and checking it out. It was just like, it's starting. Because if you didn't see it, you're gonna wait I don't even know when they show it. That's some of his shows, like they're like, oh man, is it Sunday yet? And U.S. Marshals comes on a different night, and I don't care. Yeah. Like if nothing else comes to mind, I'll watch it. The new episode, or like, no, new episode. Sure, I guess before I go to bed, I'll go to bed mad. You know what I mean? Everything from the firearms handling, everything to the Indian dude that's hard to look at. He just does it. He's the. Oh,
that's on the Marshal team.
I told so Jason Campbell up in Montana. I'm like, brother, you need to call somebody and just get into movies because I know an Indian. And that's funny from the Madison. They're like, you don't call it Indian, bro. He's like, well, that's what they call it. But Jay could look the part. Like if he came in and looked,
and he could move properly.
Right. So, but this guy is just, I don't know. I'm sure he's a great guy, but man, it's like every time he touches a gun, I want to throw up. And they're like MMA background, all that stuff, and it's just off. It's just not the right dude.
That is one piece I did like about that show. They get in the helicopter, and Casey says, you might want to point that barrel down. Rotors are above us.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting there.
Yeah. And the guy just seems like such a new guy, even though he's supposed to have this background and be a tough guy. It's rough. It's rough.
Well, I would imagine,
and it's death by SEAL. Like SEALs don't talk like that. Like if they, it's almost like I can feel this entire brotherhood of SEALs rolling their eyes while they're watching this show. And I bet they had some SEAL on there I'm not gonna say he's knucklehead because I might know him, saying, hey, we like to say mud suck, but you're gonna work it into every, it's out of context to where it's painful. It's like, it's kind of, I don't know, I don't enjoy it. I thought he directed it, and I was pinging all kind of flags, and I looked into it, and I think it is that spinoff that somebody else was running. But yeah, I won't say hot garbage, but not far from it. It's just like, you can pull off you seen that picture with me riding with Mike Davies with ARs?
Oh yeah.
If you got horses, cowboy hats, and ARs, it's a good day. It's like pizza.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, it's pizza. It's just, it's like whatever. It's like, it's not good pizza, but it's pizza, so it's not necessarily bad. Like, I'm gonna eat it. I just, it's like Taco Bell. I'm gonna eat it, but I'm gonna wish I didn't tomorrow. And I think one of the big things on there, as we sit here and sound like we're complaining about the world, is so much potential, so much lost potential in that storyline. and that character is you want him to be so awesome, and then here come the tough chicks, and here comes his boss and all this other stuff, and you're like, man, this is like, I'm like, feel like my dad. I'm thinking about going to bed instead of finishing this tonight.
Well, and I keep going back to this entertainment. You pay for entertainment.
Right.
So he's taking liberties, he's creating drama and tension, and you have to have, apparently, wackadoodles to make it happen. I'd really like to see other authors that I like to read, like, we talked about Jack Carr, but it changes when it goes to Amazon. There's another guy, Brad Thor, who actually writes about a pretty good character.
I think that I'm glad you said that, because I think that because it's a Navy SEAL tie-in, it's offensive. It's like they didn't honor what that is. You know what I mean? And I don't know what I'm expecting, but it's just like rolling your eyes and saying this is like it's harming that brotherhood, right? It's like it's kind of, I don't know. I don't see that in Jack Carr. I don't see that in other things, like even the Taylor Sheridan stuff. Portraying that is accurately, like that part, that old soldier. Mm-hmm. It, like, I don't know, it affected me. Like when I'm watching, I'm like, I thought of like 10 dudes. Yeah. And I kind of like missed it. It made me think about, there's a saying that we walk with giants, right? You don't really notice it in the moment because everybody's just doing their thing. But afterwards, you're like, I didn't realize how special this was. You know what I mean? And just that one character that he played kind of brought that back. And I was like, oh man, I don't miss it because I get to raise a family. I still get to do tactics, do all this cool guy stuff. And I love doing it, but I also get to raise a family. Well, the price for doing that job is not raising a family. Right? 7 months out of the year, I'm in a different country. Or I'm training the GRS people, get them through the TDC and evaluating, can you even go do this? Yeah. So I think when you're that steadfast, when you're that strict in a standard, and you see it violated just for a crappy show, you're like, man, that's unfortunate, I guess.
No, if I had a quarter to place a bet on the table, I'm sensing maturity. And he has written a couple things, he has made some money, but now he's on this hockey stick.
Yeah.
It's no longer about the money. He's got more money than he could spend in his lifetime.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, he's going to hit this plateau and not so much stall out, but now he can write what he wants to write.
Man, I hope so.
It might be more accurate, and it might be
but
less.
And that's the thing. It's like if you're that gifted in storytelling, cool. Okay, I guess make your money and all that stuff. I can't expect him to have the kind of integrity that I would want to. Like whatever, you can't. It's just not in charge of everybody. My wife makes it very clear that I'm not in charge of everybody, and it's not my job to fix the world. But now let's go to the Madison. So the Madison, you're making a point that's not a point. Like you're telling a story, but it's the wrong story because it doesn't have a foundation, right? So if you're talking about Stacy, and I think it's Preston is the husband, right?
Sounds right.
And let's just take a second. Kurt Russell. I'm going to say two things, and I'm going to see if you get Snake Plissken and Jack Burton. Do you know what those are?
I do not. But if you kick the tires and light the fire,
Snake
I know who it is.
So Escape from New York,
yeah,
like just classic. That's Snake Plissken is sent in to whatever. So epic, classic, and Jack Burton, Big Trouble in Little China. From the Pork Chop Express. Like growing up, I'm like, this dude is legit. I really like him as an actor. And even now, I think he just played Santa Claus in something, and maybe it's been years now. But dude's awesome, man. I hope he's not like a...
No, and you have a gift where you remember every movie you've ever seen. I can't remember what I did yesterday. And
I can't remember what I did yesterday. I can remember movies and
clips. The list of movies you must watch.
We should do a podcast on the must-see movies list because I've got a long list.
The list is amazing.
Yeah, Jason Campbell jumped into that. And I think he knocked all of them out, actually. It's from, I think, probably 80s on. Yeah. Fantastic stuff. And then Michelle Pfeiffer, I will say Scarface. Did you see Tequila Sunrise?
I did, but I can't remember.
I need to watch it again because I remember it just being a fantastic movie. And I think it was Kurt Russell and Mel Gibson. Okay. But she's amazing. Dangerous Minds was the one. The Gangster's Paradise was the song from it. She was a teacher in like inner city. Okay. And excellent job. And then I had to put Maleficent because my kids watched. Well, she was the evil queen, and I think the second one. But that's where Angelina, what's her name? Angelina, She did fantastic in that. And I know it's like a little storybook kind of fairy tale thing, but that was well written. That was a phenomenal movie, actually.
Cool.
So I think both of them were fantastic. Okay, so the Madison, and here's the gist of it. And if it's spoiler alert, then just go watch it or whatever, and you can just hate on us. Here's the synopsis would be rich family, in love, couple in love. He needs his outlets to go off to Montana and fly fish with his brother. She's having none of it, so they're raising a family in New York City off Madison Avenue. He goes out there, the tie-in is it's the Madison River, right? And him and his brother are doing a thing. And he's good with this life as long as he has his getaways, right? Dies. And this is the first episode. So the very first episode, they judge a storm wrong. They're trying to get out. Little Cessna, downdraft too much, puts them in the trees, right? They get a call. They come out to Montana. So it's a New York City, kind of spoiled New York City uppity meets Montana. Like not just Montana, because I've lived in Montana. Not just Montana, but kind of yes power but no running water Montana, like a couple cabins, an outhouse, an outhouse, and I think to any man that I would know, that speaks to him. So already you got an amazing, combination or a setup for a great story,
a recipe. Yeah.
However, here we go. The lady, she's supposed to be the strength of the family, the matriarch, and all that, and there's certain lines in there that just cut, I think, in a bad way, for me anyways, where she says, your father, like, oh, something about real men. And she's like, well, your father's the only real man you ever met, meeting in New York. And I'm like, how so? Like, in my mind, he didn't even have the courage to say, we are going to Montana. There's a special place that he created for them, invited for them, and they never came, right? And he never stood to bring them there. So I don't know that that's the definition you're looking for of this man's man, right? I think my favorite character in the entire thing is his brother.
Okay. Yeah.
His brother was like, when you find this out, lost a wife, said, I won't marry again. When I said for life, it meant my life. And that just gets me right now. It's like, I didn't mean she dies and I remarry. I mean, I'm good. I'm out here fishing. I'm doing my thing. And you're like, oh man, this guy's like made a different stuff, And he longs for his brother to come in town so they can share a thing. But the spoiled wife and kids will not come, right? Yeah. I don't know that that's the definition you're looking for of a man, right? So it's like, mama says no. Okay. Then stay home. My kids are going to Montana. That's head of a home. That's leadership. That's like, what? It's my job to round them out. It's my job to say we are going outdoors, at least while they're younger. So that part is like, okay. And then there's a scene in there where she's kind of like portrayed as decent. It's F-bomb every other word. Yeah. She's sucking down whiskey and wine, and I don't think that woman portrayed like they're sucking down whiskey because whiskey is the country thing. Yeah. Like you hear all these songs about and whiskey. It's like it's a pretty easy recipe if you want to bang out a country song, just throw in whiskey and a couple things. I don't know, but that part of it, she's the one trying to correct the granddaughter's language when every other word is an F-bomb, right? And saying they're not decent. In one instance saying, I can't believe the little B words that we raised. And you walk out thinking, did you just call your grandkids, like your granddaughters, B words? Yeah. And then she comes out, those aren't your kids. She's like, I'm not talking about your kids, I'm talking about mine. Like I raised, yes you did. And that's like one of the truest lines in the movie. You raised B words, they raised B words, and it's your fault, right? It's like that's kind of the gist of it. It's like, but now you're trying to say that you're the decent one, and why are they acting like that? Well, because we talk about when you plant corn and corn comes up, you shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Like you planted it, right? It's like, well, how'd corn come up? Well, that's what you planted, right? But again, here we are in this conundrum to where I couldn't wait till the next one came out. Like I knew when it came out, and I'm like, everybody bet, because it's like that space when they go to bed earlier, and then I have a minute to watch something. Is when I watch it, and I knew exactly when it came out, which means I was waiting for it, and then I watch it, have my little love-hate relationship with it, but I won't say I left better. Yeah. I'm like, oh man.
No, that's one thing I'm taking away from tonight. It's cute on Netflix. Like, I feel like it's a thumbs up, thumbs down. Did you like this? And then they'll recommend stuff.
Yeah.
But now looking at it through the lens of, did it make me better? Like, that's a completely different scale. Am I better for watching this? There's very few shows that I've ever watched that I'm better.
Right.
It may have pumped me up. It may have gotten I don't know. Hey, Maverick can fly a jet.
Well, and I think even that, like if you're watching, I remember Top Gun, watching Top Gun, I didn't want to be a pilot, and this is so funny, be careful what you say to your kids. I remember my mom saying I was like, I want to fly helicopters. I remember when I was a little kid, I want to fly helicopters. She goes, well, you got to be good at math. And I'm like, screw helicopters. I get that quick. I'm like, I guess I don't want to fly helicopters. Now I did fly a helicopter later in life afterwards, but careful. It's like, come to find out, you don't have to be so good at math to fly helicopters because I'm still bad at math and I've soloed a helicopter. I never got my ticket, but I did solo a little Schweitzer 300. But it was a recruiting movie, so was 2. It's like, people want to go be aviators because they saw that and like, I want to be a pilot. But I didn't watch that and be like, I want to move to New York and have a spoiled brat wife.
Yeah.
No, like I want to, even her daughters, if you were that cowboy, you wouldn't marry her. She is an absolute train wreck. And she is going to, we're living in a time right now where you get that wrong and you're fighting with your wife about cutting off your son's nuts.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's a girl. You're like, okay, well, I would roll slow into that. Because she comes in hot and heavy and just starts lip locking this guy in front of her kids on the first date. And I'm like, you're kind of trashy, actually. Yeah. You might want to pump your brakes on that one because you deserve better. Yeah. So that's the part that it's like, hey, man, this recipe is a bad one, but it sells. Cool, man. Laughing all the way to the bank. Get some. But when you see Montana, when you see the Madison River, when you see people getting frustrated, and that's, there is some truth in there. Like I said, nuggets of gold and piles of crap. Is you got a nugget of gold is, why are we in New York? Like all we do is complain about New York and then defend it. Yeah. Everybody just sits around complaining about the city, but they don't leave it. I don't get it, and if that's your jam, you can. I don't understand. And she gets smashed in the face and mugged and all this stuff. And like, what are we doing here? Why can't we leave here? But if you move there, like if not the movie because it's all cute. If you move there, you're immediately like the worst people in town in Montana. And that's cool. They're loving on them and bringing them food. But don't be bringing your politics and you'll screw up Montana, which Bozeman.
It's happening. Right?
Yeah, enjoy. I'm excited. Okay, for the legend, we talked about that. Okay, let's talk about Jack Carr. So Terminal List, and didn't you read all these?
I love his books because the first one, I think it was Terminal List. When I read it, it was early in the Abel Shepherd days.
Yes.
And it was neat because I had been exposed to some of the language, the way people communicate, and I'm like, that's accurate.
Yeah.
I knew enough to know that, okay, this guy understands it. And then you find out his backstory, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. You go in enlisted, you're a SEAL, and you do the thing to become an officer. Like, that's some determination and grit. Like, and he lives in, I don't know, Park City. Oh, okay, neighboring state, right over that hill.
Who does? Jack Carr does? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's a mountain boy. But it gets lost when it goes to TV. I don't know why. I don't know why they can't just do a book line for line. But there is a bit of that.
Are you a read the book, then watch the movie, read the book?
I would say read.
Like if you have the option.
If I watch TV, it's a mistake. And it's usually golf or car shows.
Or Terminal List.
Because sports, it's not scripted.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. Cars, you know what's going to happen. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, tire comes off, it goes back on. No big surprise. Like, I don't need that drama, that I can't sit there and watch Fox News all day long.
Yeah.
I'll lose my bank. I don't know. It makes me crazy. So the storyline in Terminal List was neat, but wow, he crossed that line 3 miles back. Like when you start blowing up, Coronado Island to get back at a guy, that's okay.
That was like so Jack Carr does a thing, like as a veteran SEAL, he does a thing that I think only a SEAL could do, to where when I'm watching, you're seeing these things that I'm sure everybody picks up on them, but maybe perhaps there's things that people don't pick up on. And I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. Oh, I see. Like there's a scene in there, what was it? Killing a SEAL with Old Misery. Like, I don't think you can appreciate that as much unless you've held that big log that's got carved in it, Misery Loves Company, and they're punishing you in buds. But he says, when you had a team, this wasn't as bad, but you left your team. So now he kills them. I'm like, that's ingenious. Like, you just drown the dude with whatever. Okay, so Red Squadron, the Dam Neck, SEAL Team 6 is what the world calls it. We call it Dam Neck. Is Red Squadron? They have the mascot is Indian, and Red Squadron and Tomahawk. Obviously, that all fits together. But when a SEAL dies, like my buddy Lance, when he died, in his shadow box, there's a fund where people donate, and these things are like $800-900, I believe, and they're hard to get. But there's a whole bank of these that only Winkler makes, and you can purchase them. So they purchase a bank of them. So when guys die, one of those is in the shadow box, and it's just it's a work of art. Yeah. It's also this tool. It's this deadly tool. So it's just a perfect thing to honor a dude, right? So to see those cross things, I'm like, oh man, that's kind of cool. And then the LLTB, you see that in his etched in his gun. I think in the thing is like I don't know. I probably wrote that 3 times this week, because when you sign off, typically with SEALs, this happened for years and years. Long live the Brotherhood. You know, there was just some kind of uproar with the SEAL Foundation because it's just gotten, again, run by a woman. Like I said, do you guys remember what's the definition of brotherhood? Does anybody remember? I put this on a thing because there's a lot of question about funds and all that stuff. And I don't know if the balance is off of money raised, money spent for families. I just know that a bunch of women are making like $300,000-400,000 for running the Brotherhood. And I'm like, why? Is there not a brother? Is anybody capable of running the Brotherhood and honoring our brothers? So it's like, it bothers me. So I shared a story about trying to get some guys, some SEALs, amazing SEALs with amazing reputations, to an event when I go to these events, including to Yellowstone, meaning where they filmed it. Yeah. Been there, stood there, got my cowboy hat on doing the thing. They brought us out as this I forget what it's called, this weekend called Touch a SEAL events. Like rich people want to touch a SEAL. So they bring you out so you can tell stories. They just dump liquor down your throat as much as you can possibly drink or eat or whatever. You're basically like a celebrity, and they just want to be there, but then they give more money. Yeah. So there's a total incentive for them to do it. But I don't know, knowing the status of a lot of dudes, I don't know that sitting around and talking about the glory days and sucking down whiskey is the best thing for that, right? So we checked it out once. I'm like, thank you for this, I won't be back, right? So I requested a couple years later about getting some SEALs out to a Christ-centered week in the mountains, men's mission. They were coming, they didn't know about it, they didn't ask. I asked on their behalf, would you guys fund this, right? They are going to be here for a week. They're going to be, there's not much, it was like $700 or something like that. Lodging, food, everything taken care of. Got this run around by these women. Finally, I was like, you know what? I'll take care of it. We're just done. So they just paid full price. They did this. Some other guys were going to come. I was going to extend it to them, but they couldn't swing it. But I was like, this is like actually making people healthier, and you're not interested. Yeah. They actually recommended I go off to these offsite. I'm like, this is a Navy SEAL requesting from the SEAL Foundation to make other SEALs stronger. Yeah. Like the real definition of strength, and they didn't have time for it. Like literally, it was email after email after email, and finally they recommended I just go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, that's one way to do it. But terminal list, Tomahawks, long live the Brotherhood. That's a true thing as long as we protect it. If there's no Brotherhood, then why long live whatever? Just let it die. And it's not where you're from; it's where you're at. So keep proving that thing. Keep living that. We've got buddies that didn't make it. So if you're a veteran, period, but if you're a SEAL, that's on you. So if you're going to sit around and whining and not doing things, then I think that is not the correct way to continue to serve. Yep. Dark Wolf was more of an agency spin. It's hard to watch that because you know how Ben. So in the book, and if I remember correctly, it's different. Terminal list. The way that whole Ben thing pans out is different in the book than the movie. And in the movie on this one, I think it was better. Yeah. It was, like I'm over here like getting emotional about it because I'm like, you crossed the Brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, my heart. And he did in the book too, but in the book it was just, I don't know, kind of anticlimactic. I don't know. It didn't deliver. And even that shadow that they use when they turn around in Dark Wolf, if you've seen the beginning of it, it just gives me the chills, man. Because I'm like, you broke the unbreakable thing. Mm-hmm. How dare you? So it's hard to watch Dark Wolf because you know the scumbag. Yep. You're like, oh, and I know it's like, even the way he comes clean in Terminal List, man, it's just right. It reminds me of dudes that I served with. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, like you thought you were doing right, but you've always kind of been reckless. And I could see this happening. So I think it was a different level of a thing. However, I don't know the dude, the freaking model looking dude. He reminds me of Hemsworth, But
The South App Rafe.
Rafe,
Yeah.
man, that guy is just a stud. And I don't remember him ever. Is it over yet, or did it end and there's going to be another season or whatever?
I'm sure there's another season.
But I mean, I think that dude was stellar, and I think that's part of it because in the books, Rafe is just a solid dude through and through. Ben's kind of a knucklehead, obviously, because of that deal. But I don't know. I dig it. I like it. I like the tactics. I like the weapons. I like all the stuff. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Did you ever see Nobel? I can't even find it right now. No. But it's a Norwegian. I think it's Norwegian Special Forces. When you talk about that thing that we're chasing, Neil Pinkham hit me up and he goes, "Hey, check this out." Maybe it was even subtitles. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
But he goes, "Check this out." Just something about these guys, way these guys are moving.
The way they moved,
like,
yeah.
And I pull it up and I'm like, who was the consultant on this? Because I remember he even kills a dude in a parking garage or fights a dude or something like that, and the way he's moving, and he immediately goes forward. And it's no block, throw, ninja stuff. He just gets after it. And I'm like, and then you start seeing hints of SEAL teams, GRS, CIA, all of this stuff blended together, but it's Norway's version of it. Yeah. Even when they pull out Overwatch, what we call Overwatch now, it's all set up. Now they got this little cheap Chinese UTG thing. I'm like, don't buy that bag. It's going to fall apart and your gun's going to fall on the floor. But the gear, all that stuff, the purpose-built gear, like we're talking to Daniel Defense right now. I don't even know. Do you know that? And why is that a good gun? And they're like, how about you tell them why? So we might do some, potentially, hopefully. They have amazing products, but we have 3 of their products outfitted for a purpose. There's a testable, graded standard. There's a capability. Let's tell the world why. Because I truly believe that is the gun for close protection, like your family or active shooter. I truly believe this set up exactly as patrol. I truly believe this is the Overwatch. If you want to learn how to do Overwatch in one day, 600 yards and in, that's your gun.
There it is.
That's actually the optic, and you shouldn't have to touch the turrets. You should do holds. And we've already proven it, right? So that's super exciting. But to see it in a film and you're like, dude just set up Overwatch. Dude just did this. Oh man, they're doing the close protection stuff. He's like, even the awkward, one scene where he's talking to his dad, I think, and just there's an awkwardness about team guys, special operators, alpha males, where they can't communicate on a level like that looks like me and my dad. That's real. Not looking at each in the eye and doing the tough guy hands in the pocket thing and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, something's right about that. Cool. Social media. So I want to finish with this because social media is a lot of what people are viewing right now are on that phone. Do you know who Jack Hibbs is?
I do.
Jack Hibbs.
Yes, I do.
Watch anything he's putting out. Jack Hibbs is kind of America's pastor. I think I did just see him praying at the White House. Dude's on point. I'm going to throw out Grace Chapel Castle Rock on YouTube because that's my pastor, Pastor Brian Fields. And I've just been locked in twice a week. I'll listen on Sunday, but on Tuesdays typically. I wasn't there on Tuesday because I was here recalling. But then I watched it today. And it's just it's just feeding exactly. Church is not my service. Church should not, I know they call it a church service. That's not your service. That's where you go top off so you can serve. Basically the second you walk out the door, the second you walk back, that's your service. I say that's my corner. If you're in a ring, that's my corner where my pastors, my pastor that is feeding me and skilled and spending so much time with God and going to seminary and doing all this stuff, he's going to have an opportunity to pour into me so I can serve. When I go in the ring, he's not coming with me. He's my corner man. He's got his own battles to fight, right? So that's where I think that the thing that I need to top off so I can get after it, I get. Right, so consider checking that out. Josh Howerton is a young pastor out of Dallas. I'm gonna mess this up. First point. Something. Look him up, Josh Howerton. He's everywhere. Him and his wife Jana, I believe it is. I hope I didn't mess that up. Man, they're saying true words out loud that could fix. It's Jesus, right? But there's a thing going on right now. I shared a post that was from John MacArthur, and if you gave that message in Douglas County, you'd be run out of town by the women. Right? Here's the problem. It's true. So it's true from the Bible, but man, guys like Josh Howerton, guys like Mark Driscoll, their wives, they are saying this out loud, and now it's shock jock kind of stuff. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he said that. Here's the deal, though. It's in the Bible, and it's the way that your marriage is supposed to be. So I highly, highly, highly recommend look up what those guys are putting out. If you want a daily thing every day, I'm on Daily Wire for 15 minutes. Maybe even 15 minutes in the evening because they have morning wire. I want an intel update. so I'm not out of the loop. I want to know what's going on, but I don't want to be in there long enough to get pissed.
Yeah.
So I just like what's going on with the president, with Iran, with this and that, and they do a great job. I like how they do it. Music starts, it just here's this,
brief.
out of there.
Boom.
It's a brief. It's a morning brief. It's an evening brief.
Yep.
And then back to it. Sometimes I click on, and it's like obviously Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, the other dude. There's several, right? But they're putting out some good stuff. Please pray for Jordan Peterson. I haven't seen him back. I know, I believe he's a gift to this world. I think his mind is amazing. His boldness that put him on the map is amazing. Yeah. And he, I heard, extremely sick, autoimmune stuff that he already battled, but maybe some black mold kind of stuff at his dad's house. Yeah. Well, after his dad passed, it kicked this stuff up, and I haven't heard from him since. Heard from his daughter, sporadic updates, but praying that last step that he just can't take, I think, declaring Christ as Lord and Savior and nobody else, and I'm all in. He's literal enough. Like, I mean, he's black and white, literal, and I don't know a great man that's not. He's got a thing called ARC. It's a thing trying to fix the globe, right? But we need leaders, and we need them yesterday, and he's one of them. So please pray for him. And on that, the Peterson Academy. So that one is a paid subscription. It's well worth it. I think it's $300, maybe $400 a year. Yep. Getting the best professors in the world and saying, if you had one class, what would it be? So nail it. We're going to pay you a bunch of money. Do 8 one-hour sessions. I think that's kind of the standard, and give it to the world, right? I don't think that's a high price to pay. I have an 18-year-old, about to be 18. I have offered to her, and I think she's going to do it, go on Peterson Academy, log into this account, take this college course, write a paper per viewing, per 1 hour session, write a paper, and I'll buy them from you, right? And it might be on narcissism. It might be on health. It might be on food and poison, the poisons in our food. But she can bounce through those on anything she wants to study, write a paper, and I'll buy it from her until we find where her calling meets her spiritual gifts. Yeah. Then pour a bunch of money on college, right? So she's taking a gap year. I could care less if she ever goes to college. If she finds something she wants to do, then we'll lean in there, but not cast in a huge net where some university and all the woke professors are going to try to undo everything that Rachel and I did for 18 years. No. Not happening. I'll fund it. It's like, this is ridiculous, right? So I am just ecstatic that she's going to go to Summit Ministries down in Colorado Springs, that all these people are coming in, going to be speaking Jesus into her and trying to find where that spark is. And then the Peterson Academy, and then she's going to work, and she's going to do all this stuff. And when we find it, she's a world changer. So once we find it, man, it's like, let's frickin' go. And I can't wait to see. She's already amazing. Okay, the last one surprised me. Do you know who Boss Rutan is?
No.
This is funny because I don't know. He popped maybe on a feed or maybe into my head. Do you know who Kevin James is? He's a comedian, mall cop.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Here Comes the Boom.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I know the title. Yeah.
Maybe he's a teacher and he's trying to save the school. He's the wrestling coach too. So they're like, if you do an MMA thing, you can make money. It's a comedy. It's hilarious. And his coach is this Dutch dude, and he's 100 miles an hour. He's all over the place, and he's all silly. That's Boss Rutan. I think he's one of the, I would say the best. He is I enjoy watching the dude, hearing him talk. He is such a tactician when it comes to fighting. Yeah. And he's just not a conformist. He's just like, why did that beat me? So he's going to study, get obsessed with this hold until he gets it. How he describes leg kicks on a video I just saw, he does squares up, doesn't blade, very much like we train. Open hand strikes, knocking dudes out with that bone, very Dwayne Dieter, CQD-ish, pisiform bone, all that stuff. But he puts it in motion, and he's just decimating dudes. And he's 100 miles an hour, and he's a riot. He did a video that I just bounced on called Why I Changed My Mind About God. Oh. And it's just entertaining, but I mean, just go on anything the dude's putting out, I would say recently. Watch his fights, because it's so different. He's this funny Dutch dude. He's a powerhouse. And I don't know, I've just been kind of locked into everything he's putting out for the past couple months. So check it out. Boss Rutan. Just type him into YouTube, and you're going to see these. But I would start with Why I Changed My Mind About God. He just says, guys, I am not this, this, and this. You're just going to hear from me, because what I think is what you'll hear. And he just goes, and I enjoyed it for like a couple of hours while I was working in my garage today. So, check it out. Are you on social media at all? I know you mentioned track and golf and all that stuff. Maybe. But you do the Daily Wire. You knew about that morning brief? Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, okay, you just heard it.
No, I just think of, in business. Like, I'm going to come into the room, hit me hard, hit me quick, give me what I need to know to get after.
Yeah.
Or probably like pilots.
Yeah.
They come in, they get a brief. You know, here's your target, go. Here's your loadout. I think of the briefs when we did the BDRs. Here's where we start, here's where we end.
Plan of the day, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the in-betweens we'll figure out, but here's the deal, right?
Yeah.
Because you waste time going into too much of it, we're just going to change.
Yeah.
You know, so what are we doing here? It's like, we talked about that last week. Do you know where you are on the earth? Like right now, Peter's like, I have no idea. Like, what state? I'm following Everett. Like, I don't know. I'd say he's like, most of my life, yeah, I love the honesty. Most of my life, I haven't known where I was at. I just find a dude to follow. I'm like, okay.
Oh, Perry.
So good. Okay, so guys, I feel like we've been very negative on Taylor Sheridan. Part of that is intentional, but the other part is I really enjoy his stuff. So he's doing something right as far as selling a thing. And I think maybe I'm just hungry for something that it's not his job to deliver to Jimmy Graham, right? It's just saying, when I see the U.S. Marshals thing, I think I'm just a little bit too close to the flame. Like that having that lineage of the SEAL teams, and you just dishonored it. I don't appreciate that. And that wasn't him, by the way. That's somebody else that dropped that ball. But there's these pieces that you're going to grab to. And then I guess this would be my warning. Some people don't know. So if it's heading down a road and you see Billy Bob Thornton talking to his son in the truck and there's some kind of moment you connect with, look at that. Learn from that. And when they take a hard left and now all of a sudden your spoiled brat wife has elderly people talking about a D word in their face, they just took a turn. Don't go with them. You know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, that's the woman I want to be. It's like, wow, this is just absolutely what's destroying our nation. So that's why I take this so personal, because you can't, I think if you sat down and talked with Taylor Sheridan, I don't know the dude, but if you talked to him, he would be very Americana. What's wrong with the nation? We're trying to bring it back. No, brother, you can't fix the problem if you're part of the problem. You can't be part of the solution if you're part of the problem, right? So I get it, you're making money on it, but you are selling and promoting indecency like it's cool. And younger people are going to think it's cool until they see somebody that's going, that's not the way to go. The problem is they've already wrecked their lives with it. So that's unfortunate. But that's what entertainment is, I guess, these days. I think about like somebody just told me this, Andy Griffith, and like they said something about, maybe it was Danny. Oh, no, it was Garrett Dyrud. That dude's awesome, the detective here locally, talking about the internet crimes against children. He's like, don't let your kids watch something you haven't already watched. He goes, so I've already watched Andy Griffith. I've already watched G.I. Joe. I've already watched, we can start there because they're available. If you look at like the stuff you kind of grew up on. I also watched stuff I probably shouldn't have watched, but I ended up okay. So part of me is like, Christian can watch Red Dawn. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not that jacked up, and I watched Red Dawn and whatever. But I explained that stuff to him, and it gives us a chance to talk about it, right? But some of the stuff is hot garbage. Like it's absolutely satanic, and you shouldn't be watching it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Without a doubt.
All right. Anything in closing, brother?
No, just a bunch of personal stuff, and both dads in our family, thinking about them, praying for them, and then it made me realize, like, those are earthly fathers. Got to pay attention to the heavenly Father too. So
yeah,
that whole dynamic, and even I say looking down. I don't mean it that way. I'm trying to express the thought, but lineage-wise down to Alex.
Yeah.
Because now I'm the dad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about him, and I would hope he's thinking upwards towards me. So that dad pool.
Yeah. That just popped in my head, that know the truth so it can set you free, right? Like that we're trying to leave. I used to say, you know this, character builds credibility, builds legacy. And I've changed it through my men's groups that I absolutely cherish. Character builds credibility, leaves legacy. Because when I really think about it, I'm not trying to leave a legacy. I'm trying to do what's right, like by God. And that leaves a legacy. Like I can't imagine a better thing as our sons someday when we're not here anymore. Like, tell me about your dad's legacy. It's like he served God the best he could in everything he did, and I felt it.
Yeah.
That'd be good. More so than he worked his life off and built the thing and everybody knows about Abel Shepherd. It's like, you know?
Yeah.
But then he talks to people okay, what does that mean? And then he meets people and like, this is what your dad meant to me. It meant he led me to eternal salvation. He did this. I mean, we hear this quite a bit. People saved my life. Yep. We thought it was going to be kicking doors and saving babies kind of thing. It was different. Okay, so we'll wrap this one up. But I think what comes to mind, like as we're closing, is guys, watch them and make your own decisions. You know, you want a different answer, ask a different guy. But when I watch these, I'm really looking at it in the context of what's tomorrow going to look like. Who's going to lead this forward? I really appreciate, even because we all enjoy entertainment. It's all going to come through this phone or through these streaming systems and all that kind of stuff. But I really hope that somebody takes a step to where I can watch something and be better having watched it. Like here, we've been called to lead a thing where everybody leaves better every single time, including the staff. And I got a Christmas card. I don't know how you do it, but I leave better every single time. It just validates that, right? Yeah. But this isn't going to affect today millions of people, but this will. So I really hope and pray that people can watch whatever they want, and I hope that somebody cracks this code so that when they go here onto something, somewhere they can go, they're actually better, right? So when I see Josh Howerton, Mark Driscoll, when you start seeing these people, every time, whether it's a 15-second snippet, I'm a better man that second. The second I watched it, they were a reflection of goodness from our Lord and Savior to me, and they just made me better. I'm like, thanks, bro, and then I just go get after it.
The secret sauce, those damn things are an escape.
Mm-hmm.
They distract you, they pull you away from what's important, and they lead you down just a dark hole.
Yeah.
Now, what are you doing about it? You're taking teams out into Mother Nature, out into the goodness, making memories, starting the day with a cup of black coffee and reading the Bible. That is reality.
Amen.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
You know, don't go hiding in a phone or looking for a TV show to get your definition, because it ain't there.
And if it's fuel, like it can be fuel, or it can pull you towards failure. I can't believe I didn't mention Louis L'Amour, because Yellowstone is basically, if you look at the Sacketts, it's a copy of the Sacketts, and maybe it was intentional. I don't know. I haven't talked to Taylor Sheridan, but starting from England and then walking through in the Sacketts, these books, you should highly check them out. I like an adventure, even if it's somebody else's, but this is no comparison for my adventures.
Yeah.
But to watch somebody's adventures and see a family name, a lineage that lives on throughout, 300 years or whatever. It's when I want to go into not neutral, when I want to relax and not have to be tasked with being in charge of anything. I put on audiobook, I go to the next Sackett book, and I'll just listen to it, and I'll just hang out and just chill. And then I'll capture some of the little quotes from it, all that kind of stuff. Then I'll go again, because my mind races, I'll start over again, and I'll do each one of them twice. But those become fuel for my adventures, right? So when we're going out and doing these things in the mountains with kids, when we're doing all this stuff, when I'm intentionally saying things to my children so that they'll recall it, like the quote that I said here, I said it at work the other day, tell Parker, I'm not trying to make followers, I'm trying to make leaders. So all men wish to be captains, but few wish to shoulder the burden of decision. It's time to make a decision, right? He called me today. Hey, can you look at this thing before we send it off to Virginia? Nope. What's it say? It says this and this. You good with it? Yep, hit send. And it's a big project. It's a big project. It's on you, man. So if you think it's good, send it. And if it's not, but right now I'm doing something. So we're about to pass a torch here and make a call, brother.
I like it.
I love it. Love it. Father God, thank you so much for this. This happens to be the day before Good Friday. I think it's Monday, Thursday. Thank you so much for BK. Thank you for his be with Holy Spirit guide, his fathers, both of them, for earthly fathers, father-in-law and father, in this difficult time. We thank you so much for the gift of being fathers. We just guide us. So, Holy Spirit, we need the strength to head down this path and to model what that looks like. We can talk about it all day long, but if we don't, we say that around here a lot, show me. So we can say this, but give us the strength to live it out and build that character that leads to credibility, that leaves a legacy of Jesus Christ and men that were mirrors of that light coming down from heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, brother. Love you, brother.
Love you.
All right, guys, so check it out. We'd love to hear your comments on these and any other ones that you might want us to talk about it. Just hit us up in the comments. And until we see you again, God bless each and every one of you. Love you guys. Take care of one another. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for another episode. Please be sure to follow us and support us on all of the social media. That's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. All of that starts by visiting ableshepherd.com.